and welcome to stampingcatcrew.com. Today we're going to make this gatefold card. Opens just like this, and to keep the little corner closed I just tuck it underneath the edge of the bow. So first I'm going to show you the dimensions on the gatefold card. I did a base in smoky slate, and I did a half of a sheet of cardstock, so it would have normally been an A2 size that we have at 5.5 by 8.5. Normally, to fold it in half, we'd score it at 4 1/4. Instead, I took the half of that and I did 2 1/8 and 2 1/8, so that when you fold this in, it meets right there in the middle. So the inside is still what would normally be a top panel on a card. So just like this, it's 5 1/4 by 4 inches, but I did a little stamping on the inside of this, and I did a little stamping on the envelope. So I'm going to show you that first. Get this out of the way. I do have my foam pad, although not really necessary because we are using rubber stamps. The set that we're doing is the Petal Palette. It comes as a 2-part set in the 2018 Occasions catalog. So we're just going to do the leaves here and a spattering of the flowers right here. And inside, or on the outside, I mean, some things are just meant to be like the two of you together. There's a really good selection of sentiments, which makes it really nice. And then also all of these have coordinating framelits. So as a suite of products, it's really versatile and lots of stuff that you can do and have some fun. We didn't happen to use the die cuts on this one, but we did do a lot of other fun stuff. I'm going to grab my smoky slate as the base, and I did the leaf pattern here. So I'm going to ink that up. And just straight down and straight back up with even pressure. So that's the outside of our envelope. I'm going to do the same thing on the inside of the card. And I'm going to do a little spattering of flowers, and all I did was use the Memento ink. Just a couple like that, and then on the envelope, it's okay to go off of the edge, so just put a little bit there. I'm going to set those aside. That's literally, other than the sentiment that I did on our white square here, the only stamping that I've done on the card. What's really beautiful about this Petal Palette paper is the designer series paper. So you have this humongous selection of amazing things that you can do, and they're just really pretty as a background. I'm going to set that aside and grab our couple pieces of DSP. So this is the pattern that I used for the outside of the card. So like we talked about, this is an A2 size card front. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the top the 5 1/4 like we normally would to fit inside that 5.5 height. But then to leave space on either side, I'm actually going to cut each slice at 1 7/8 inches. Grab our snail adhesive. That's our gatefold card. We've got both of our pieces on there. So the inner part of this is a black base, and then we've got a smoky slate again, and our sentiment right here, and then the rest of it is adding some ribbons. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to layer this part of the sentiment, because it's actually going to be popped up on the black base. If you're curious about exact dimensions on this part, they'll all be on my blog. It's stampingcatcrew.com. Super easy. And because I know we're going to thread some ribbon through, I'm going to use some Stamping Dimensionals, and I'm not going to put any in the center because I want to leave that open, but I am going to put them in the 4 corners. Now that we have that centered on there, I can grab my length of ribbon. It's about 10 inches long. And then I've done a bow also, and usually I leave about 8 inches, and then I can trim off the extra parts that I know we're not going to use. So this is going to be the last thing that goes on because it's what basically acts as our closure. So this, to make it a little fun, I'm going to thread through here. We know it's going to be right at the top. And I'm just going to take a little glue dot. And this is really just meant to be something fun, okay? It's not an exact science. It doesn't have to be perfect. I've got that ribbon right there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this over and I'm going to feed it through. And then I'm going to fold it over one more time. I'm going to feed that in through. I'm going to get one more glue dot. And the reason I'm doing the glue dots is because the ribbon is not glued down inside. I wanted to be able to really kind of play with this and decide where I wanted the center to be, the each ends, and have it look a little bit open like that. So one of the things to remember when you do gatefold cards is you know that you're going to center this on here, or sometimes you're going to offset it and have another square down here. There's lots of different things that you can do for the focal point on the front. But pretty much we know we're going to center this, which means we're not going to put adhesive on this side. We're going to put adhesive on the left-hand side. So if I flip this over, that's where I'm going to put my adhesive. And I know then when I center this on here, we should end up just where we want. Eyeball this straight. Hopefully it is. Yep. Yay. So for the last part is a glue dot on the back of my bow, which I've pre-tied. And so I know I don't want the glue dot obviously right on the black, but I want it to be able to tuck underneath the ribbon right here. Then all I need to do is pretty up my ends. And then you can open up the card. We're going to do our insert for the inside. Flip this over. And that's our gatefold card, just lifting up the bow right there. This is the envelope that we did to go together, and that's it. So hope you had fun, hope that makes some sense, and happy creating.